Hi guys, I just got back from a yoga teacher training, and during this training we didn't really have access to the internet, and I went into this experience feeling like this could be really good to have a bit of a digital detox. I've done a couple of vipassanas, which are 10 days of complete silence and meditating during those full 10 days. So for those 10 days I had gone completely without internet, without any type of media, and I wanted to see what it would be like for 30 days. So I'll explain a bit about my experience with these 30 days without internet, and I'll also let you guys know, did I last the whole 30 days? Because I might not have. So my dreams during this time were really vivid. It was almost like going through deep therapy, but in my dreams. And I feel like there was a lot of stuff from childhood, from the past, from a whole bunch of different things coming through really vividly in my dreams. And I actually had sleep paralysis one night, which I had never had before in my life. So I'm making a separate video on my experience with sleep paralysis, and I'll link that for you guys up here and in this video description. But essentially, I got to see my subconscious mind in a way that I don't know if I ever had before. It almost felt like having like a psychedelic experience, but without any type of psychedelics, and it was just me observing my mind. That's kind of what the sleep paralysis was like, because it's essentially being awake in a dream where you're really seeing what's happening in your subconscious and you're not able to move or doing anything other than observing it. And one thing that came through really strongly was all these visuals of like movies or shows or ads or even things like YouTube videos. Like all this stuff gets put into our mind. Like we're consuming this through our eyes, through our ears, through our energy. We're consuming it, and it's getting stored somewhere. Like it gets stored in your subconscious, it gets stored as a memory. And so I was seeing myself just looking at all this stuff that kind of felt like junk that was in my brain that I was kind of processing, hopefully letting go of. And it helped me see where I might be also distracting myself in my life. So at times during these 30 days, I was journaling a lot more than I have been more recently. And the journaling really helped for me to reconnect with myself in my downtime. Instead of just kind of looking at my phone and scrolling mindlessly or watching YouTube videos mindlessly, I would instead journal, or I would go to the beach, or I would spend time with friends. So it was really nice to have more quality time with myself, and then also quality time with the people around me and quality time with nature. Though I did need to use the internet during these 30 days because I had something going on financially that I had to sort out. So my banking is done online, and this was just stuff that I needed to do for my finances. So I got onto the internet, took care of some of my finances. I'm also running my business online, so I checked my email for some of that. There's students that I have in my online course that I needed to touch base with. And I also was getting some business proposals that if I hadn't had access to the internet at all for those 30 days, I probably would have lost out on a few $1,000s. So that for me was essential. And this is where it also helped me see how valuable the internet can be. So I feel like I probably overuse it in my life, typically in a way that I don't need to be on the internet as often as I am, and these 30 days really helped me see that. But it also helped me see how valuable it is for things like business and finances, banking, things that I could be anywhere in the world and still take care of those three things. My business, my finances, and my banking can all be taken care of from literally anywhere on this planet as long as I have some form of access to the internet. So that really helps me see how this world has become so much more accessible in that way, and that we can have a lot more freedom in moving around on this planet and taking time to really enjoy ourselves. And I got to see that I don't need to be doing as much as I think I thought I did. So during this yoga teacher training, we were busy pretty much the whole day learning yoga, and we would get some time off where we would get to go to the beach or go swimming there's a saltwater pool there, just socialize with people, soak in the sun a little bit, journal, nap, play music. We were playing ukulele and drums and singing and practicing yoga, practicing teaching. So we were always doing things, and I wasn't doing very much for my business or my life outside of this training, but I got to see how easily things were flowing to me without me putting as much time and energy into them, if that makes sense. So it helped me see that if I can slow down and live more at the pace of nature, where things just kind of flow and you go with it. And if it rains, then you soak in the water. If there's sun, you soak in the sunlight. And a plant can't force the weather around it to change to accommodate it. Instead, it just relaxes and adapts, and it takes what it can get. And if the climate changes, then it also moves around and adapts, and things sort themselves out. And I feel like that was a huge lesson for me with these 30 days with virtually no access to the internet, is things sort themselves out. And it was really about me stepping back and just trusting the universe, trusting this process, and trusting that I'm always fully supported. But what I started to find once I had access to the internet, because for one of these business deals I needed to be negotiating and it was a bit more time sensitive, so I wasn't stressed about timing, but there were a few days where I needed to just have a bit of back and forth contact with a couple people and sign a contract and get these things sorted out. And so during these days, I would maybe access the internet for about 10 to 15 minutes each of those days to really sort through that stuff. But then I found that it became hard for me to not do things. Like, I checked Instagram at one point because I was like, what if something happened and my account is deleted? Or I don't know. So it was just something that, like, it wasn't really logical, but it was still just like, oh my God, like, I haven't been on this in a few weeks. What if, like, let me just check. And then I went to it. And once I had logged back onto Instagram, though, I found it hard to not check it again. So this is where I started to see, what's it called? Like self-control, or I feel like there's a term for this, self-discipline, whatever it was. I felt like at a certain point it kind of had gone out the window, because it's kind of like if you are used to doing something every day. Like for some people, it might be processed sugar, where they have that every day, not even realizing it. And then once they cut out sugar, they might cut it out for a few weeks, and then if they ever get a treat, it's like, oh my God, and then they eat the whole treat, because it's like, whoa, like, I don't know. Basically, that's what happened with me with the internet. Once I got a taste, I was like, whoa! And so I actually decided to implement something on my phone that I'll give you guys as a bit of a life hack if you aren't already doing this. On your iPhone, you just need it to be updated to get this, but there's actually something called screen time. I'll see if I can show you. But essentially what screen time is that you're able to control yourself and your phone usage through this. So during that time, I'm making it so that my phone actually isn't going to work, like certain apps aren't going to be accessible. And I mean, if there's an emergency, you can still click on the app and just say ignore downtime. But what it's doing is it's retraining me to be like, no, you don't go on the phone at this time. And the thing with our technology is that it can become very addictive because we get these dopamine hits. So for me, something like Instagram, maybe I'm seeing these likes or comments or things that it is tied to my business, but at the same time, it also gives me those dopamine hits of like, wow, people like this stuff. And like, it just, or even text messages can give you those dopamine hits too, where it's like, wow, someone's messaging me. But it's very different than having a real life connection with someone face to face. And this is what I really got out of those 30 days, was how important it is to spend time with your friends and loved ones face to face and be close with them. And it's awesome that we have this technology to be able to connect with people from anywhere in the world. And my friends that I met at my yoga teacher training, this is now the only way that I can connect with them is through my phone. So it's definitely a blessing. It's very easy to just get carried away by it and end up passing 3 hours doing virtually nothing, and then thinking afterwards like, oh, I just wasted time. Maybe I went to sleep later than I wanted to. There's just so much that can come from mindlessly connecting with technology. So that was a huge lesson, and that's something that I'm implementing now, just so that if I'm ever having a weak moment, at least my phone is looking out for me now, where it's like, don't do it. So I think that's super helpful. I don't know what else. I still feel, even though I'm saying like it was like hard for me or whatever, it still was way less than my everyday life. So let's say I looked at Instagram and I was on it for like 10 minutes. It was still pretty much nothing, but I think I really wanted to be going the 30 days without access to the internet, and I would have probably liked to just not connect with it at all, because I really just wanted to be present. And the thing with being present that can be hard is that sometimes people do things or say things that might hurt your feelings. Something might happen that might be frustrating, and something like a phone, which is giving you these dopamine hits, can be really easy to go to as an escape. And we all kind of have different things that we might use for an escape. But the issue with having an escape is that when you are having something going on emotionally and you're programming yourself to, okay, whenever I feel bad, this is what I do. You're programming yourself so that you actually become reliant on something, and that's where things like addictions can stem from. Unhealthy connections to something that isn't a human being. So what I would say, or what I'm trying to get at, is that if something would happen where my feelings would be hurt, or I was feeling frustrated or upset, instead of falling back onto, oh, well, I'll just scroll mindlessly and get some dopamine hits, contact some people on my phone, this will make me feel better temporarily. What I found actually really helped was journaling and swimming in the pool. If you're going through anything emotionally, go swimming, especially in a saltwater pool. Just like moving that water all around you. Water's the element that kind of has to do with your emotions. So if you can move in the water, that is really helpful. So that was kind of like my therapy, was doing laps in that pool. And talking it out, talking to friends about it. I had this one friend, we would talk and we'd like look up at the stars and we'd be like, why, universe, why? And like we're just making it ultra dramatic, but it was more like laughing things off. So if something's happening and you're feeling sad or frustrated, like finding someone that you can just connect with, that you can make light of things. And yeah, journaling was a huge one for me. So I think I'll make a separate video on journaling. I already have, actually, so I'll link it up here and in the video description. I might do more though, because that has been like a godsend for me, journaling. I think I'll end the video here. I think I've said a lot. We're at like 15 minutes or so. So I hope this helps for you guys to understand a bit of my experience not having internet, and then having it a bit and being like, whoa, like how do I navigate this world? And you know, like have this connection with nature, with myself, with friends and loved ones, and also have access to things that can be really helpful on the phone and on other devices. So that's that for now. If you want more videos on this topic or other things that I do, because of having these Vipassanas where I would go 10 days without any technology whatsoever, I'd look at the phone again and it would feel like a foreign object, and I'd be like, what? Like it was so overwhelming. So I've changed a lot about the way that I use the phone to help me with that. So if you guys are interested in kind of cutting the cord a little bit with your phone, then please let me know in the comments, because I'll make another video for you guys on my life hacks of what I do for that. Okay, well, I think a bee just came to say hi, and it's telling me that it's time to buzz off. So thank you so much for being here. Give this video a thumbs up if you like it. Make sure to check the links in the description for more, and I'll talk to you later. And may you be happy, healthy, and free. Bye.